Welcome everybody to another episode of the Warm Up, man. It's your guy Traumatized Chris. I'm also here with Tyre and Championship Kurt. Say what's going on for the world out there, guys.
Yo, what's going on, world? How y'all doing? Peace to the planet.
All right, man. Well, let's get right into it. It's obviously been kind of a tumultuous time. Lately, we've seen a lot of events happen within the past week and a half. Um, And essentially, we've been seeing like the recent shootings of Jacob Blake, who was shot in the back 7 times by police as he was returning to his car. Um, and along with that, the protests with how essentially a gunman was shooting and killing protesters and stuff as well. This sparked a lot of movement in the NBA, followed by WNBA, Major League Soccer, MLB, NHL, tennis with the Naomi Osaka, just to name a few, with respects to their decision to boycott. So, just initial thoughts, guys. What do you guys feel initially with respects to what's been going on lately? Tired? I'll let you start off.
Oh man, where to start? So we talking about with the protests, or we talking about with the events that happened, or just the whole totality of
Just the
everything?
whole totality of it. You can
Uh,
keep it around sports, but
so
yeah.
just starting off, I think it's crazy. Another black man gets killed, shot in the back.
Well, he wasn't killed, to be fair.
Well, I mean, okay, sorry. They tried to kill him though. It's a miracle he's alive. So you
Yeah.
know, that's crazy. Just another one in Milwaukee again. And you would think there would be a little bit more learnings from what happened before and how to talk about it and how to move forward. And it's just like, nah, it's just more of the same. The protesters getting shot at, and the guy being deemed a hero or whatever the case is, not immediately just like, okay, this is a gunman going around shooting people. I feel like we saw the same thing in Charlottesville, where
Mm-hmm.
at first they were trying to make that their hero, and then they finally, I don't know, came to their senses or whatever. But nobody's gonna admit they're wrong. But it's just nuts. And with the whole protest at first, I was like, I wasn't against it, but I was just like, oh, what's that supposed to do? Why? Like, not like I. It's kind of like I was just wondering, oh, what's the message behind it? But then just seeing the shockwaves that everybody like seeing other sports, because basketball is like, okay, if they don't do it, I always kind of feel like basketball is our sport. There's a lot of people who are hip hop adjacent or black adjacent that also enjoy basketball, but I expect our players to step up, especially with how they've been behaving like lately. Like they've been really willing to put their people first. But to see the MLB and the MLS and tennis and NHL with hockey is just to see everybody step up and say enough is enough has been that's been the positive in all this, but it's really just it's a lot.
Yeah, definitely. Kurt, do you have anything to follow up with that?
Hey, everything that Tyra said is true, man. Tyra, you were talking about this before we started recording. It's the trend, right? It's not just George, it's not just Jacob, right? It's not
Mm-hmm,
just Brianna.
mm-hmm,
It's the list. I mean, you got to write their names down on the roll because it keeps
mm-hmm,
going.
Mm.
And it's like when is enough,
mm-hmm.
right? I feel like these videos come out and they plaster them everywhere, all online. And it's as though it's a new feature movie coming out, right?
Yeah.
It's like I compare it to like when the Avengers came out. It was like a new reel every week. But this is real life and we're getting gunned down and it's not a Hollywood production. So it's very, and I found myself frustrated because it's like I want to play a bigger part in trying to find a solution, try to move us closer to the solution. And I know we're going to talk about that later on in the show about what people can do. And the whole thing that happened with, oh, I got him down here in the notebook, right? Cal Rittenhouse, the 17-year-old that drove 20 miles from Antioch, Wisconsin to Kenosha, Wisconsin to fire off his rifle at protesters who didn't have a weapon. And then was dapped up and shown love by the cops and somehow got away. And the police chief of Kenosha said that if the protesters had adhered to the curfew, nobody would have got shot. That was his answer. It's dude, man. It's
If the 17-year-old would have adhered to the gun laws, nobody would have got shot.
Yeah, but he's not saying that.
Hmm.
So just
Shoot,
that.
even
Yeah.
the president is condemning the protests, but I haven't seen him say anything about the actual shooting.
Yeah. Do y'all still? Sorry to interject, but do y'all still watch the videos?
Uh,
I try not to.
you
I
know
don't.
when
I don't even
yeah
watch anymore.
when I saw the headline on the video, and I was just like, "Yep, I know the answer to that." Or like, I know the results of that, and I don't need to watch it. Like, we don't need to see the action to know the ramifications and the results that would come out of it. Um,
Mm.
so no, to be short with you, I really didn't watch the video. I don't need to watch the video. I don't want to watch the video. And anytime I feel like there's a video that's going to inject that piece of footage in there, I probably would just skip it.
Yeah, because I know early on I was like, I appreciate that we can capture these things now, and they could be dissected and looked at, and things can't be swept under the rug. But I just, to the point we were talking about earlier, is like watching the video and going through and seeing what he did, what he didn't do, what he could have done. It doesn't really move anything anymore. Right now, the list is so long that it's just like it's an alarming trend.
Okay. So then let me ask this question. We've seen so far the Milwaukee Bucks. They were the first to initiate the forfeiture, and that was the plan. It's just to forfeit the game. They was going to boycott by not just appearing and allowing that forfeiture to take place. Um, do you think? So they spoke with the attorney general, I believe, or like lieutenant attorney general or something like that. Someone from Milwaukee in
From the state of
government.
Milwaukee, not the
Yeah,
federal one.
yeah,
Mhm.
and to figure out what they can do to help expedite change. What are your thoughts on kind of like how NBA players are trying to take action, and what is it that you think that NBA players can do, or to a larger scale, athletes or owners or communities? What can you think? What do you think they can do that can help kind of move this needle towards some of the results we want to see?
I think they are doing it right now. I feel like them showing that they're willing to sacrifice, their livelihoods, feeding their family for what they feel is like more important for the bigger picture. That's one thing. I think also just the act in itself and the what it inspired in others, it might just be inspirational or symbolic or whatever you want to call it. But there's advertising dollars, there's money behind it. There's the fact that you can't just, with protests, they want us to go home and just be quiet. That would be their preferred method of protest. They don't want it be inconvenience in any way. So this makes it continues the conversation, and it makes it so it's like you can't just go change the channel. You can't go watch the game. You can't go watch baseball if you feel like, oh, I'm tired of that sport. I'm tired of the NFL. I'm tired of the NBA. I'm gonna go watch baseball. No, baseball's standing with it. I'm gonna go watch tennis. No, the tennis play is making it so like you can't go on with your life like how they always do, because
Mhm.
we carry this trauma. They just can continue. They can sit here and debate whether the cop was okay to shoot or not to shoot. It doesn't affect them. They can go hop in this argument and then go back to their families and everything's all cool.
Mhm.
That man's life is forever changed.
Yeah.
We carry with like, okay, what's gonna happen if I have this interaction? They don't have to carry that. So it's fun for them. This is more like an extracurricular activity.
Yeah. Kurt, do you think the owners should be doing more? Do you think they should be doing less? What's your take on it?
Bruh, the owners need to step up, man. Where they at? There they go. I don't see them, right?
There you go.
But now, you know what? We gotta pay due to the NBA because they have pledged $300 million to support the Black community. So it's not like that they're not doing anything, right? But I look at what LeBron James said. He's like, "Hey, we have the influence, but you guys have that loan money, have connections with people in Congress, right? So you need to start. picking up the phone, making calls. That's why I applaud what the Bucks did. Like the three of us, we're some badass dudes, right? I just cussed. It's gonna be a rated R pod already. But we make calls. Okay. But if Giannis Antetokounmpo is making a call, people are gonna stop and listen because of the platform he has, because of what he's done to put himself in that position, right? So the players, I like what they're doing. The owners, some of them are doing a lot. It's probably unheard of. Probably won't see it. But could they do more? Of course, man. Of course. I think so.
Okay.
Yeah, I agree. I think owners could do more. I know you said the NBA is giving money. I don't know how much of the owners are contributing to that, and it's hard to know. Like each individual owner could do their own thing. I will say they're a step above of some of the other leagues. They got what's his name, Donald Sterling, up out of there for his
You don't
position.
think Donald's helping out?
No, he's
Donald
not in.
Sterling?
He's not in there anymore, right? So I feel
You
like
don't
the
think he's helping
NBA.
out from the sideline?
Oh, I don't
He
know what
could
he's
be a
done.
silent contributor that we don't know nothing about,
Yeah.
offering up slum rentals for people. I don't know, man.
So between kind of mandating like who can and can be owners in there, even though James Dolan is still in there, but at least compared to the NFL, they're not coming out and saying ridiculous things.
Yeah.
They're
I
letting the
think
players be on the forefront. If they don't have a message of support, they're at least
yeah.
letting the players be on the forefront.
I think, Todd, I gotta go a step above. I gotta challenge you on one point. You said they're doing a step better. I think the NBA, the owners organization, they're like miles and miles ahead of all other sports. It's like the NBA and the others. I can't even say they're doing more than just a step because no other league is doing what they're doing.
Well,
No
but
other league.
we got to separate the two. I feel like the NBA and the league in itself has been doing a lot. I don't know where individual owners are in all this. They're not as vocal. They're not. I don't know what James Dolan thinks about Black Lives Matter. I don't know what Mark Cuban in himself has been such a out there guy. So I kind of know where he thinks on certain things, but like a lot of owners, like I don't know what they're thinking. What is your message? What are you doing?
Yeah. Yeah, it's definitely been the most progressive league out of the big three, and even versus the smaller leagues, which actually what makes the whole impact of the boycott kind of ring a little bit louder, just because of the fact that MLB, which is the last to do anything, actually decided to take the time to be unified across the leagues with their fellow athletes, and even more so NHL, which is majority white. I don't even know how many. I think they may have like a handful of black people who are even in the league, and they also saying, "Hey, like this is a serious matter." And again, we do stand behind those people. So maybe that does show some level of just the amount of reach that they've been able to accomplish with choosing to boycott. I mean, I do understand everyone's at home, so they aren't caught up in their day-to-day routines. But again, keeping this in mind, Major League Baseball, they're in season right now.
Yeah.
National Hockey League, they're in the playoffs right now. Like this is usually their playoff season,
Yeah.
and for them to again just to stop and kind of be in lockstep with showing that solidarity does show that the message is being heard, and it's kind of reverberating across different sports and leagues. So yeah, that's pretty good. And yeah, I do think the owners are at the very least, even though we don't know exactly what they're doing, we do kind of see that there's a bigger relationship with their players and how they treat their players, how they view their players. They view their players as partners. They don't look at them as assets like maybe the NFL would do.
Hey, Trauma, I don't want to cut you off, but since we're talking about owners, we got to give a shout out to Michael Jordan, right?
Yeah.
Because he's been like a liaison between the owners and the players, right?
Yeah.
He's telling them, and just think about it. You said before we started recording, he's telling them like, yo, just sit back and listen. So I think we're saying that the owners could do more, but I think there's different routes they can take. I don't think we want to hear from Dolan. I
Yeah.
love Cuban, but this I don't think this is his time to shine right now. I think
Hmm.
we have people, the players,
Hmm.
that
Hmm.
can speak on it who've lived through it. So let them have that platform. But there's other avenues they can take to help out, to be that ally that people are talking about, right?
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Here's kind of a curveball when I think about one of the first teams that was trying to step up and protest, and then when I think about when we talk about the National Hockey League and its multinational as well, it seems like a lot of the Canadian teams kind of stepped up for it. Is it kind of like a culture thing too?
It could be. Uh, but I don't know the details of who all stepped up from the NHL, for example. And there are
Mhm.
a lot of majority of the teams are
Canadian.
U.S. side, actually U.S. side.
Oh, really? Okay,
So
okay.
like you have New York, you have two teams. You have L.A.
Mhm.
that has,
Detroit,
yeah. You have Detroit. You have the
San
Predators.
Jose.
Yeah, San Jose. You have the Predators in Nashville. Like they actually more on the U.S. side. Then you do have the Toronto Maples. I think you have Calgary. You do have some over there as
Alberta
well.
and all
Yeah.
they got a,
So they do have a presence there, but a majority of the
okay,
NHL is down in
okay.
U.S. So just something to think about. And again, to every time we have one of these instances, we have people who like to show up and say things
Hmm.
that you'd be like, "Oh, there you are. We've been waiting for you to show your head, and so we can go ahead
Like
and get you out."
Erlacher.
Yeah, Brian Urlacher. What did he say? Well, he clearly said something along the lines of um, Brett Favre. This is his quote. Brett Favre played the Monday night football game the day his dad died, threw 4 touchdowns in the first half, and was a legend in the face of adversity. Then he follows up to say NBA players boycott the playoffs because a dude reaching for a knife, wanted on a felony sexual assault warrant, was shot by the police. Now, shortly after this, the Chicago Bears was like, we disassociated ourselves from this guy. We don't know this guy. This is not the views of Chicago Bears. Almost instantly. Um, so, what are
It's,
your
it's
thoughts? Huh?
it's also good to point out that Brett Favre himself disassociated himself from his own comments that he made. That I it seems like or whatever his
Brian
name,
Urlacher? Yeah.
yeah, is trying to step up and defend. Brett Favre himself stepped up and said, "You know what? Like I didn't really think that through and walk back his original comment. So I don't. It's kind of weird for you to come out and double down on something somebody took back."
Yeah. Yeah. So obviously, there's always going to be fallout on both sides. Meaning, hey, there may be some changes on the positive end to kind of push the needle,
Mhm.
and then we also get the chance to see, uh, well, other people
Yeah.
like to fall on the side of history.
Who
Um,
asked him a question? Who gave Erlacher? Who asked? Because I missed it, man. I was looking. I was like, who asked him?
But that's the thing.
Why is he speaking?
It's not that he asked. It's like his conscience, his spirit pushed him. Like he
he
felt
felt
like he
compelled.
felt he felt compelled. There was such an injustice going on to whether it's sports in itself or if he felt like police or whatever the case is. He felt so
His conscience
compelled
put.
that he had to speak out. But I just have to think when you're like he was a pretty good player. Like when you have a legacy like that and you look like, damn, look at what LeBron's willing to do with his legacy. He's willing to
Mm-hmm.
sit it out. When you're willing to sacrifice, so
Mm-hmm.
you're willing to sacrifice your legacy, and this is the hill you choose to die on. When you look at the football league, you look at the domestic abuse, you look at the people who got caught up in murders and rape and sexual assault cases and all this stuff. And you will go in and out on the field and play with them day after day. You didn't make a stand, you didn't risk, you didn't make a splash, you didn't make a noise. You went in day out, stuck to football and kept it moving. For now, you to come out of the woodworks and have something to say on this hill, it's like I don't get it. I don't.
Yeah. Yeah. That's a very good point, and just the fact that again, NFL has always been tied to some level of controversy just because of
Yeah.
their players and how they behave and some of their off the field tendencies. And it ranges from wide receivers to linebackers to You know, any almost any position. I think every position short of kickers have been in some level of controversy to some degree, and yet, you know, sexual assault is okay, rape is okay, domestic violence is okay, blasting your baby mama and threatening them is okay, but let yourself get shot by a police officer, then it's just like, you know, what was he doing and why was that a problem? And I'm going to stand on the side of justice. And it's like,
Because
okay,
even if he was going on about the spirit of sportsmanship per se, let's say that was his thing. It was about the sport, right?
mm-hmm.
Like, where were you? I didn't see you come out the gate talking crazy when the Astros was over here cheating.
Yeah,
Where were you with the multiple cheating scandals with the Patriots? You
yeah,
didn't talk about the legendariness of Brett Favre versus Tom Brady, who was caught up in cheating scandals
yeah,
or Deflategate or and all this.
mm-hmm.
So why? What drives these people? And they feel like they're not racist. I don't know if I can call them a racist. I don't know. It's hard. But the only thing that motivates you to be willing to sacrifice is to come out and speak against the Black Lives Matter movement or
Mm-hmm.
another like I don't get it.
Yeah,
I'm gonna go against my own word because I know I said on the Slack that we had that I'm not giving out any more passes, right? But Ty, I'm gonna try. I'm gonna try to stretch. I'm trying to reach for you, right?
Mm.
To your statement with Erlacher. If he's not a racist, he is incredibly ignorant.
Yeah.
Not ignorant, ignorant. Because I say that the video's out there, right? And if you saw the video, and I looked at the car because the video I accidentally saw it, right? It was on Instagram. They showed a video where the white guy was put over by a white cop, and he kind of taunted the cop. There was exchange, and the white guy ended up leaving in another car. And then behind that video was what happened to Jacob, right? So I ended up watching it. And I watched the police officer's reaction. At no time he somebody was scared. He didn't jump back. He didn't look to see what he was grabbing because I noticed he was reaching for a weapon. And we all know that phrase, don't bring a knife to a gunfight. Everybody knows that.
what was he gonna do?
What is he going to do? Exactly.
I don't even think they ever confirmed that he drew the knife. They just said there was a
They
knife
did not.
in the car.
They did not. It was in the car.
Mm.
You're absolutely right. So Erlacher had to see that. If he didn't, he know he could see it.
Yeah.
And for the fact that he didn't watch it or he watched it and saw it through some type of weird filter and still had the nerve to say that comment.
Yeah.
You know, I take it back. I'm not giving Erlacher a pass on that. It's too much information out there.
Yeah,
I don't
no
know why he
passes.
said that. Yeah.
I don't think
No
there's
passes.
any passes to be given,
No
especially if
passes.
you're willing to go out so publicly on it.
Yeah,
Yeah. And he hasn't come out and said anything else about other things.
yeah.
Yeah.
Google is your friend, man. So let's just pivot a little bit away from these poor
Oh, hold on,
choices.
wait. I got one more thing. I'm sorry. I'm
Yeah.
looking at Google's my friend. I Googled Brian Urlacher. And Jerry Falwell, marriage counselor, is on Twitter at live_crusher. He highlighted the fact that Brian Urlacher liked the picture that has Kyle Rittenhouse, the 17-year-old that shot, I think it was 3 protesters, right?
Yes.
Free Kyle Rittenhouse. He liked the picture.
Yeah.
All right,
That says what
I'm closing the chapter, Urlacher.
That says what you need to see, what you need to know.
Yeah.
Like this is not. He's not.
But here's the
willingly
thing:
being
they're
ignorant.
so oh my god, rule of law again. I don't think 17-year-olds are supposed to be carrying assault rifles. I don't think they're supposed to be taking it from their residence to. I don't know if he crossed state lines or county lines or whatever. I don't think he was
It
supposed
was
to
in the
have
same
that
state.
weapon.
So
I don't think you're supposed to
I
take that
think.
weapon there. I don't think you're supposed to be using it. And also, if the police are so scared of a man with a knife, why are they so chummy with somebody holding the AR-15? Why aren't they afraid of him? He actually killed somebody.
are you
Like,
suggesting that
because
they're
Brian Urlacher said they should be scared because he had a warrant out. This person shot somebody.
Yeah.
Shouldn't there be some level of fear there?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, man. It's a very weird time. It's very normal for us. We've already known this to be true, but
Yeah.
America it's just another episode of them just trying to be taught to do better, and a lot of them are still turning a blind eye. So again, let's just pivot real quick. We talked about our thoughts on that. We talked about what the owners could do. We talked about some of the snakes that pop their heads up, and show them their true colors. How can we uh, do what we can to support and help, kind of push the agenda of more, basically the Constitution representing everyone, not just people of certain classes? I'll start with you, Kurt.
So you know what? I've been thinking about this for a minute, right? Like, because I want to do more. I can't be out at every protest, even though I would love to. But what else can we do? I'm asking myself the same question. So I did Google as our friend, use these fingers, right? I started searching some things, right?
Mm-hmm.
So some things that we could do. We could partner with local groups in our area. There's some national groups that are in our area, right? I just put up a post asking if the Urban League is here. Because I was part of the chapter down in Houston. They did amazing things. So I'm going to log on after this to see if I got a reply. I put it on Facebook and IG. But partner with local groups. And we have the Color of Change. We got BLM. We got Race Forward. We have Campaign Zero. That's the one that Obama was talking about when he did his town hall, right? They have policies and plans how police can actually be more effective form of enforcement within the neighborhood, right?
Mm-hmm.
And not so lethal. And some police departments are taking hold of it, and it costs hardly anything. It's just training, cameras. Keep in mind that Kenosha police weren't expecting to get their cameras in 2021, 2022, something like that. It's weird, right?
Mm.
And then more than a vote, that's LeBron James' initiative to get out and vote, right? We don't like these people, and I know cats that's talking about they don't like Joe Biden, don't like Harris.
Kamala,
Yeah, so they're not going to vote. But let's rewind 4 years ago, and part of the reason why we have the president we have now is because people decided not to vote. I mean, shoot, in my home state, my beloved Alabama, people wrote in Nick Saban for president.
He's a good coach.
He's a good coach, but I don't think he put his name on the ballot, right? And there were other people that's like, I don't like the Clintons, I don't like Trump, I'm just not going to vote. So a non-vote is a vote for who you don't want. Let's put it that way.
If we're gonna go back 4 years, I remember a candidate get on stage and telling black folks what y'all got to lose.
Whew. And we lost a lot, man. We losing lives. We losing lives, man. Outside of that, another point, user creative talents. I know I went through Oakland not too long ago, and I seen this wall is plastered with positive messages about Black Lives Matter, about be a part of the solution, not a part of the problem, right? If you have that talent, push it. I can't do it. I'm a stick figure guy. I can't go out there and knock that out. But if you had that talent for whatever it is, help push the agenda, right?
But your
Also,
your IG be popping though. By the way, somehow you be getting the angles.
Hey man,
and you be having this.
Hey, photography is an art. You can't draw, but you can take them pictures.
You be taking them pictures, man. You crossing them streets, man. You can get your baby oil on your biceps, man. It be you look like you got some professional work.
Hey,
so it be use your talents.
All natural.
Use your talents.
Use the talents. I can't wait for that pic to make a preview on the show, man. That's another thing, right? Also, we can support Black businesses, man. BLM has an extensive directory of people who supporting Black businesses, right? We Buy Black. Holler at them. They have an extensive list of Black businesses. Educate, like Brian Urlacher. I strongly advise you, tune to Netflix. Watch The 13th. Watch I Am Not Your Negro. Watch LA 92, right? Heck, you can even watch a TED Talk. Interview with the BLM founders, right? It's on there. If you're a podcast person, Brian Urlacher, maybe your vision isn't so good, right? You didn't get too many sacks that last season. That's okay. You could do the podcast Code Switch, Seeing White, Pod Save the People, right? Anybody can do that. And lastly, I think this is like the most important. We don't talk about the mental health. We keep seeing these visions of us slaughtered in the streets, man. I feel like, did you guys watch The Last Purge?
I think I've seen all of them.
No,
I think it came out in 2019. I saw the drive through.
Yeah.
This was like the prequel. It was a prequel, right?
So like the first Purge. Okay.
It was the first. Yeah. I think I seen that one.
Yeah. So it's weird how even though that's a horror movie, there's a lot of similarities to what's going on now. So I think that what we have to do and what everybody has to do is like self-care, right? I know we kind of crack on self-care Sundays or whatever, but I've been it's traumatizing seeing this stuff. It pisses me off, right? So some days I have to decharge. I have to turn off the social media, man. I have to get outside and just feel the sun and let my mind be at peace for a minute so I can think clearly on how to act. I think we all need to do that. I think that's an important piece, man. I think that's a real important piece.
Okay. Yeah, all of those are really good ideas, good points.
Yeah, I Googled them. They should be good points.
Eh,
Hey, also, in terms of podcasts, you can also watch the Warmup to get some education. Just throwing it out there.
thank you,
I
Tyler.
like that.
See, he won.
Subscribe.
He didn't even try, man. He went through all
Bro, how
these
you know
other
that was the
people.
assist, man? That was the
Okay.
assist.
Okay.
Nah, I agree with what he said. Just find out where you can donate your money, your time, your talent, mentor, educate. Just be a leader. Be a leader in your household. Be a leader in the community.
Yeah.
It's really like that. There's only an extent to what we can do. There's a lot of homework they got to do too. So
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Just be an overall good person, man. Whatever the qualities that you embody that you think are going to be positive, is going to positively impact people around you, then you definitely inherit those, embody those, and look to perfect those to the best of your possibility. So, last thing, the NBA, they had the boycott. They did cancel or postpone a couple of a few days of games, 3 or 4 days of games. I think this is going to restart on Saturday. Um, what are you guys' thoughts? Do you guys agree that they should start or that they shouldn't start? Or what do you feel about them choosing to restart the NBA? Did they do what they set out to do with the boycott?
I feel like there was splashes, there's waves. I feel like the players got to do what's best for them. So if they feel that they should protest, definitely support that. If they feel like they shouldn't protest, I might be slightly disappointed.
Mm.
I do like basketball, but I think there are some other important things going on, but I wouldn't be mad at them at all if they decided to play too. Uh, I don't know. It's just a tough thing. It's a tough situation. Even with the protests, like, are they gonna not play until like there's significant change? Like, what do we where do we go with that?
Mm-hmm.
I think they need time to plan it out. Yeah, I don't
Okay.
know.
Okay.
It's not much else to say on it.
Okay. Cool. Mr. Champ.
But I'm down with the players, man. I think though, there's I like what the Bucks did. Like you said in the beginning of the show, they made calls. They did action. I love what LeBron's doing. He has his organizations. George Hill is he's hitting it like right in the head, man. He's speaking his truth. He's speaking the truth. Um, but on the flip side, there are like financial implications involved, right? We listen to them because they're celebrities,
Mm-hmm.
because they have the financial means, because they have the spotlight on them. And that's why the words being shown, right? LeBron James is excluded. He has his own platforms, a few others, right? But I would have never heard the truth, the light from George Hill if it wasn't for these playoffs. No, he hates being in there. He said it. Um, so I don't know. I'm kind of conflicted because I know they could lose a lot of money if they don't. They could void the CBA agreement, and the owners would be looking to recoup the money that they lost if they continue on with the playoffs, right, or with the boycott.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I would hate for them to lose the ground that they gain in that CPA
Yeah.
because it allows them to do so much,
Mm-hmm.
so much.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm conflicted. I want them to go out there and do what their heart says do, but at the same time, I would hate for them to lose the platform that they have.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I wouldn't have got to see C Webb say what he said on national TV. That was pretty powerful. I wouldn't have got to see Ken
Yeah.
make his statement. That was pretty powerful to walk away.
What about Doc Rivers?
Stand with the players. Doc
Oh,
Rivers.
Doc! Shout out to Steve Webb, the Jet, Doc Rivers. Yeah.
Yeah, so
We
What
never
about the
saw
it's a
that.
tough.
We,
WNBA? WNBA. Oh, maybe you guys haven't seen it.
Yeah, they suspended games too.
Well, they
mhm.
also had the Jason. I'm sorry, the Jacob Blake shirts. It was like
Hmm.
everyone had like a
Mm,
letter, and they had 7 shots in on the back of the shirts,
damn.
as well. So like, it was like bullet holes. It was obviously thought out and all that stuff as well. But like, they had to make the decision too, and obviously you can, by comparison of NBA, they have a lot more to lose from the financial
They
impact if
do.
they decide to not
Or
play.
or
So
not more to lose, but they already don't have a lot to lose in the first place.
yeah, yeah,
That's true.
exactly.
And I kind of
That
grimaced when you even brought up the WA because I feel like I don't do enough to support them watching it. I've been to a game or whatever, but like watching it consistently, playing with them on 2K, showing like it's a useful feature that I want to see moving
Hmm.
forward to continue supporting both the NBA and WNBA in the game, highlighting players, stuff like that.
Yeah,
Watching the games, supporting, buying jerseys. I don't think we do nearly enough to support the WNBA, and I feel a lot of times they step up harder than the men.
yeah, yeah.
They had
no,
that
I'm
one.
with you.
Didn't they have that one player? I forget her name. That just
Maya Moore.
Maya Morrow just basically said, "I'm not gonna
She
play again until I get this man out of jail."
she gave up like a year and a half or 2 year of her prime season. Yeah.
Yeah,
Hmm. And,
that's
and and
crazy.
actually
Yeah,
accomplished it. She actually got the guy
Yeah, and
out.
she
got him
actually
out of
did.
jail. Yeah,
So
it wasn't just
And now
lip
she's moving on
service.
to the next case. Yeah, I got to support him more.
Yeah.
Um, and just going back to highlight like the NBA, I support whatever they do, but like uh Ben Golliver from the Washington Post stated that the teams could lose 40 mil per team at a minimum if they don't continue on with the season, the playoffs, right? And Zach Lowe talked about the implications to next season due to the fact that this season is going to extend far into next season. They have to push
hmm
that to the right because these guys got to recharge. They got to relax. They got to see their families reconnect,
yeah.
and
Mhm.
that can have implications. They're going to make next season shorter. Are they
Hmm.
going to shift the dates all the way to the right? Is it going to be a new start for the NBA season?
Yeah.
How are the other leagues going to feel about it? There's so many things to think about.
Hmm.
How
It's
are
tough.
how are advertisers and investors gonna feel if people just gonna be pulling out? So there's a lot of things to think about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Way more complicated than how it looks to the naked eye. So, yeah, that's kind of where we had to leave it off at, man. It was great information, great material, great content, guys. Any last? You good? Your shirt tight?
That's
Hey,
what
I've
I
been
was
working out,
looking.
man.
Oh, okay.
He's on the
I
he's
am,
on
man.
the
What you
bottom he's
talking
on the
about?
he's on the bottom of the screen, so I'm always looking down. I'm over here looking like
Before I let everyone kind of have like their last call, last piece that they want to convey to the public. So, Tired, I'll let you go first.
hey man, just shout out to KL and Jonathan who ain't couldn't make it here. I know they got a lot to say. And they've been, chiming in on the Slack. Uh hey man, Black Lives Matter.
Short and sweet, man. I like it. Kurt.
Yeah, Jonathan's brought that heat on the Slack. KFRL's always bringing the light to the pod. Shout out to them. Get out and vote. Please vote. Please vote. You know what the situation is. You have what you think is right. Go out and cast your vote.
And be wary of people telling you not to vote because we're not telling you who to vote for. We telling you to be engaged in your politics and vote.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. So, all right, guys. Tired. Championship Kurt is Trauma Chris. Oh, please feel free to subscribe if you like the show. Comment. Follow us on the social
Please comment if
media.
you want to see Chris pick out that TWA. Let's see how many inches.
You done?
Yeah,
Are
how
you
many
done?
inches you got, man?
Cornrows next week,
Grow,
baby.
man. Yo, this is growth, man. It's the
You're gonna be looking like
growth.
Tim. You're gonna be looking like Tim Reed with them cornrows,
Bro, I
man.
like, man, this is where J. Cole started, you know what I'm saying? So
Oh,
this
for
this is
Oh,
real.
so
J.
you going for
Cole.
the dress?
This J. Cole's second album, you know what I mean?
You going
Next
for the
year.
dress?
Maybe. We'll see.
Okay.
To be continued, man. Just stay tuned.
Just for the audience, man. When's the last time you had a haircut?
When was the lockdown? March?
Yeah.
Like probably last week of February or so, man, something like
Oh,
that.
okay.
Ooh.
All right.
You
So
know,
those cornrows might be coming in 2022, man. At
Oh, yeah.
that rate.
Your hair don't go fast then.
well, you know,
Not at all.
mystical
You,
got he got plaits. You know, he just got some you know
I
un,
can't stop.
inauthentic hair. You know, so I mean, I could probably speed it up. You know what I mean, if I
hey,
wanted to.
sorry,
Whoa,
I
whoa,
think
whoa,
his
whoa!
hair
Are
growing
you
the
saying?
brakes
Hold
on,
on, hold
man.
on. Oh, wait! You heard it here first. Breaking news. Are you saying Mystical has extensions? Is that what you're saying?
I'm saying,
Oh,
all right, it's time to sign off. We were 40 minutes over.
At Mystical, we got on the medias. We got to at Mystical on it so he can defend
where
himself.
TMZ at, man?
Because I know
Hey,
Fetty Wap
TMC,
did it.
hold on. TMC is bald now. I mean, sorry, Mystical is bald now. So you know what
All
I'm
I know is you
saying.
and Mystical got beef now, bro.
No, man, I like Mystical, man.
He don't
He
You
gonna
like
know,
you
bring
talking about
a comeback
him getting
album, man.
extensions, bro.
y'all out here. So this
He
is what
coming
y'all
back
gonna
out of
do?
retirement just for you, man.
Are y'all done? Are y'all done? Can we sign off?
Please sign off because we
All right,
talking about
I
guys.
mean,
we
yeah.
talking about a
Sound
sexual
off like
assault
that hair
person
growth
right
that you
now.
don't have.
All right,
Hair
guys.
growing with the brakes on, man. How that work?
Thanks for tuning in to another episode of the Warm Up. We'll be back for another round of this in the following week, guys. So later, guys.
Bye bye.